Shane, I got a special surprise for you.
All right.
After last night's episode, I felt that it was necessary to bring together the Council of Bryans.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I'm curious to know what a lot of other Bryans would look like all together.
What I did was I created a program that scoured the multiverse for different internet feeds. Only a few came back. Apparently, a lot of Bryans are mostly paranoid and won't use the internet. But I found 3, and we're going to meet them now. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. This Brian is from Earth 133. He's still in school.
He's still in school? Is that what you said?
Apparently, he was diagnosed with an extreme disorder, ADHD. So here we go. Come on. 133?
Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you,
Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, I'm just doing my thing.
Interesting. I noticed you guys didn't change in, I mean, it doesn't look like Earth 133 Brian's dieting much either.
It's good to see you, man. Hey. Yeah, how you doing?
We're doing good.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're still going to school.
Yeah. Okay. Keep it 100, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Catch me on the gram, dude. My Insta
on the
game
gram.
is tight.
Your Insta game is tight. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. Okay.
Does he take methamphetamine?
I don't know. Okay, so let's just move on. He might not be the best choice. I get it.
ADD. That's right. I forgot. Oh, okay. Oh, we look serious.
Okay, let's. He's not happy with you right now. Looks like.
I see this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. This next Brian. He's from Earth 15.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He said he would totally be down to see us today. So let's. Brian, Earth 15. Brian.
Oh, I don't think he can hear us.
Oh, he's putting lipstick on.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't think.
To each their own, I guess.
Okay. Now he's putting makeup on. I don't.
Right.
Oh, he's rubbing his nipples. Oh, this is not.
Whoa. Oh.
So I don't think he knew that we were going to be on.
Now he plays the guitar.
He clearly doesn't know that we can see him right now. Okay.
All right.
Well, he's doing his thing. We're just going to move on. This guy, I know this guy's cool, man. I talked to him last night. Really fun guy. I know he'll talk to us. From Earth 73. Brian?
Good year.
Hey, man. Oh. Your mic's not on, Brian.
Is he talking to us? What is he doing?
Oh, God, he's doing coke.
Oh, my gosh. Is he?
Oh, he's doing...
Wow.
Oh, he is... Yeah, he's doing coke. For sure.
Wow. So...
Ooh, that is a lot of coke, man. Jesus.
Is this all the Bryans you found?
These are the only 3 I found. I don't...
So it's fair to say all Bryans in all of the multiverse are weird.
73 just walked away. Wow, he's really getting into that coke, dude. Look at this. Oh.
Yeah, no, he's...
Not
careful, dude. You gotta pull
it's
it
all
in
over his... Oh, what?
Wow.
The middle guy left. He's out. Oh, he just died. Oh, my God. He just died. Oh.
Maybe he fell asleep. Okay, I don't think we should go to the multiverse anymore.
No more. I'm gonna go uninstall that program.
Mixties presents the Popcast.
Hey, my name is Brian, that is Shane, and this is the Popcast, and we're talking about The Flash, episode 6. And, first impressions, not a great episode. A little boring.
No, it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
It was kind of boring, and the Harrys that we got, were interesting for about a minute or two, and even they weren't super compelling. So... Not as good as your Bryans there.
They didn't put a lot into those Harrys because we don't plan to ever see them again, I think.
Right.
The other Harrys in the past have been really great because they built their characters up on purpose. So let's get in the show, but first let's pay some bills. Don't forget our 1,600 sub challenge. We did 800 subs. We gave away 3 premiere tickets to Star Wars plus movie and drinks and popcorn the whole night on us and mixtees.com. So subscribe, comment, and share, and get on the 1,600 subs. We're almost there, 300 more subs, and boom, we're doing it.
Yes, and make sure you go check out that boxing video that we just did for Arduin.
Yep, yesterday we did the Arduin's boxing video. We had Batman made an appearance, and we introduced you finally to Glib Glob. So check that out. Let's get right into the Flash, Shane. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because I haven't watched Legends of Tomorrow yet, and that's a better show.
That's funny.
All right, we open up with Flash and the elongated man, Mr. Ralph himself. They're getting coffee. They're talking about being superheroes. The elongated man tends to call Barry Rookie because when he was on the Force, Barry was his inferior. Okay. I like that.
Subordinate.
Subordinate, sorry.
Inferior.
I like that they're...
Inferior means he's not as good as him. So
Right.
subordinate would mean he's below him.
Gotcha. I like how they're building their character, though. Like, their relationship together was good this episode.
Yeah, I think, well, obviously the elongated man grew. That's not a pun. He actually grew his character. He realized you have to save people. Right. You have to save people before you take down the bad guy.
Yeah.
Or girl, in this case.
They had chemistry. When surprisingly, I don't feel like the Wells did, but we'll get there. All right, they meet the Mugger. Fun fact: that is the same Mugger from season 1 that mugged Barry after he had just gotten his powers.
To me, this was the best scene in the whole show.
It was good. Yeah.
I liked this a lot. This was great.
I love it when he shoots him and the bullet just sort of flies right back and gets him in the leg.
Yeah, he keeps shooting himself. It's
And
fantastic.
then he shoots him again. It goes right into his butt, and the guy's on the ground crying. And Barry's like,
"Stop shooting him!
I'm not shooting him! I'm not shooting him!" Yeah, Barry said, we gotta get this guy to the hospital, and Ralph is like, he's a criminal. It's not our problem. So Ralph is learning how to be a hero versus a cop. I mean, not that cops aren't heroes, but I don't really know. He's learning how to be a hero. I shouldn't have said that. I'm moving on. All right, we're talking about the Thinker here, and the Thinker shows off his impressive mental gymnastics when he's talking to whoever this character is. She's worried. His assistant. She's worried about the Flash and them finding out, and he actually answers her before the question even comes up. And then when they finally do get to that question, he repeats himself. And I thought that was a really cool way of showing that the Thinker knows what's going on.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to note that she's pretty salty with him, which means that she doesn't have very much fear of him. So, it makes an interesting case for evil characters. And, his character may not be necessarily evil, because usually henchmen don't talk back to their leadership like that. So I thought that was very telling as far as who this character is.
Yeah, I bet you he doesn't consider himself evil. He probably considers himself doing something where the ends justify the means. And she obviously agrees with him. She's probably a zealot or something. We'll get to that soon, I'm sure. All right, moving on. Wells and the entire team, Cisco and Caitlin, have been up all night trying to figure out who DeVoe is. Wells is not having a good time. He's not happy with their progress. He voices his concern as Ralph accidentally hits a button that's about to suck the oxygen out of the room. I thought that was interesting. Cisco is sort of apathetic because he's been up all night. And Wells...
Nice picture.
Yeah. Wells decides that it's time to call his friends because they need more brain power.
Very cool.
As soon as they said this, I was like, yes, we're going to see the Council of Wells. A little underwhelming, but we'll get there.
Right.
I love how Barry goes, what, you have friends? That was interesting.
Everybody's shocked by that. I know, right?
Yeah, everybody's like, wait a minute. And then Ralph is checking out the victims. He notices that Luck Be a Lady is attractive. I thought that was cool for his character. He's sort of a womanizer, you could tell, because he mentions their measurements at one point. Like Iris had this great moment where she was like, "Oh, gross."
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely beyond womanizer and almost to the point of creepy.
Yeah, when he refers to Caitlin as he's like, 34, 28, 34. She's like, wait, was that my measurements?
Yeah. I mean, funny, hilarious, but
yeah,
and
definitely.
I like, the balance of Barry's wholesomeness.
Yeah. So they know that he was on the bus, but he was wasted. So they decide they're going to take him to a therapist and have him hypnotized in order to get the information they need. Ralph does not think that hypnotism is going to work on him. In fact, most people that don't think it'll work on him, it probably ends up working on him. And I love how she starts into him, and they're on the couch with him in one scene, and then when he wakes up, they're on the other couch.
I know, isn't that awesome? I love that.
Yeah, and
this was a good scene here.
Yeah, it was. Iris did great. Iris was in this. It wasn't in this episode very much, but the times she was in the episode, it was nice. And if I'm saying that, boy, did she do a good job this episode.
Well, the key is limited availability, like I've always said.
Yeah. Too much Irish. Too much Irish. Yeah, she's the
not
spice.
a main course.
Yeah. You pepper her on. I like that. All right, we get in there and we see the weeping guy. He's like, "Why are you crying, bro? Don't cry." And then we see the chick with the bison leather jacket, and that's their clue, right?
Yes.
And then we get to this scene. I was a little disappointed in this scene, bro. We did not see the tiger, jaguar, whatever that is, actually in action. I think we saw part of it in the trailer, but we didn't see it in the episode.
Yeah, they wanted us to be surprised, I think, when he swabs the mouth of it. I think they wanted us to be surprised in that moment and not for it to be obvious.
Well, then they shouldn't have shown it in the trailer.
Right. Well, that's always the problem. Whoever makes trailers is wrong. Anyways.
Because I'm pretty sure they showed the big cat in the trailer, but they didn't show him in the episode. So that was a total bummer. Apparently this effigy, when it's alive, has a bite force of 5,000 psi. And I like how he looks at the cat, and Joe's like, do you remember a time when we didn't think that the giant stone tiger was the murderer? And,
right. Barry said that to Joe.
Yeah, Barry said that to Joe, and Joe's like, no, I do not.
Right. I know. It's awesome.
They swab its mouth, and it comes up with blood. So they figured out that the meta that's doing this, after they research the stone, apparently has a bunch of dark matter, and so she's able to control effigies. Very specifically, effigies. It's not a car or a desk or a computer monitor. It has to be something that is made to look like something that's alive, right?
Right. An animal, person.
Right. Probably a gargoyle or something. Right, an effigy.
Right, yeah.
Which I would love to have seen a gargoyle fight. That would have been sick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love how Joe says, well, thank God we don't have a ton of those around the city.
Yeah, sarcastically.
Right.
And then we're gonna meet Wells' friends, and he has pulled them from the multiverse, and we find out that it is various versions of himself, which I think is like Wells is super narcissistic, right? So it's funny when you tell him go make friends, he finds four versions of himself to make friends with. I thought that was interesting.
Exactly. It makes sense. It's exactly what you would expect from this guy.
Right. And now the first. Go ahead.
His characters are way different. I love it.
Yeah. Now the first Wells, is like a brilliant, basically German version of the Wells we already have, apparently.
Yes, older German version.
Guten Tag. I like that. This was my favorite version of the Wells.
I agree.
My next favorite was, I want to call him the Matthew McConaughey version of the Wells.
Yes, the Matthew McConaughey Wells. That's exactly what I thought too.
He had such a McConaughey vibe, dude.
He's got the hair. He's got exactly what you would expect McConaughey to be wearing after 8 p.m.
Yeah, it was like McConaughey and Hugh Hefner had a baby that went to MIT, and this is what came out. The least favorite version of the Wells was this guy.
Yeah.
Cyborg
Wells.
I know they were trying to do some comedy here, but I didn't like this one. I didn't understand why he would even be friends with it, to be honest, or him.
And it had an Australian accent, which I thought was interesting.
Right. I mean, it's funny, interesting that there's a Earth out there where it's a post-apocalyptic world where everybody has to merge with machines in order to survive. That's interesting.
I want to call this Mad Max version.
Yeah, this is Mad Max Wells. Oh, and we forgot they accidentally glitched in Wells the Gray.
Love this.
I thought that was interesting.
That was the best part of it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would have loved to have seen him like acting like Gandalf, then going like, "Wait, this is not a cosplay convention." You know, that would have been more interesting.
Yeah. Bilbo.
He's eating like a rat on a stick. I thought that was funny.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. So they're not feeling pretty confident in their Council of Wells right now, and they kick Cisco out to deal with the problem. So now, while they're dealing with the problem, we're dealing with our own problem. Finding the Bison Lady that is trying to steal.
Black Bison.
The Black Bison. And she's trying to steal some kind of necklace that belonged to the Sioux Indians.
Makes sense. She's just killing people along the way. So
yeah.
Not cool.
So the other half of Team Flash is on the case. They figure out that the other part of the necklace is on its way to a museum in. It's owned by a private collector, right? And so there's 3 parts of the necklace. She stole one part, and she needs to get the other 2. One part is owned by a private collector. They find that out, and they're going to go take care of business. Now, before that, though, we need to see Elongated Man's new costume. And I got to be honest, I initially thought it was underneath the big tarp.
Did you?
Just like Ralph, man. I was like, all right, we're going to see. Like, maybe it's like he's going to pull the tarp away, and it's like this little tiny thing or something. And I thought it was way more interesting that it was the tarp.
He's like, when he pulled it, he's like, okay, he was excited. You know, this was his moment.
Yeah.
He's getting his super suit.
Blatant Windows Surface advertising right here, by the way. Like, look at that logo.
Yeah,
like,
they're all over the place right now.
Yeah,
Windows Surface is everywhere.
Yeah. And then, so Cisco takes it down, takes that big tarp down and rolls it up, and it shrinks, like, in his hands. I thought that was cool. And that's his uniform. And Ralph's uniform is ridiculous. It looks like his costume is horrible. I expect him to get an upgrade. But I like that they started with, like, this prototype. Because, like...
Yeah, that makes sense.
It'd be too OP if Cisco could just whip up an amazing suit overnight. You know, it would make sense that he has to start with a version that, you know, doesn't look that great but is functional, and then he works from there.
Yeah.
You know?
Keep the show believable.
Yes, thank you. Now we go to that collector, and he's showing Black Bison. By the way, I hate this villain. She's horrible. She has
not much of a villain, to be honest with you. She didn't. I don't know. She had a good cause. She seems more of a misguided or misdirected person.
Yeah, misguided, like evil activist or something.
Villain.
Yeah, and she had like very little character. She didn't emote very well. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this villain or whatever you want to call it. This douchebag is smoking a peace pipe that's actually like some kind of necklace or something. Black Bison basically tells him that, and then brings the suit of armor behind him to life, and he's getting choked out when the 2 superheroes come in. I love this shot because
I know, isn't that great?
Ralph is adjusting his junk as they enter the building.
Which is exactly probably what would happen in that situation.
Yeah, that suit looks uncomfortable. Ralph is instantly put through a window. And then she runs off, and while the suit's about to attack that dude, the Flash makes a decision to save him versus catch her, which is the theme of the show right now. And it's a bad shot, I'm sorry guys, but he phases into the suit of armor and blows it to pieces. I thought that was a cool way of doing that.
Yeah, that was cool. I like how he did that.
Well, they go back to Star Labs, they get face recognition, and Black Bison's real name is Mina Chaitan, and she used to be a university professor,
right?
Of Native American Studies or something like that, and now she is an activist. Okay. Like, I think this is another reason why it's just sort of a bad villain, because like she's not a classic villain. Her motivation, while extreme, and being handled the wrong way, and obviously she's killing people, so that makes her bad. But it doesn't make me like hate her. It just seems like she's like super misguided.
Yeah.
But she's not really like emoting any of that to us. So I just see like this very dry, blank-faced character, and I have to sort of write the rest of the details in. So it just made for a very bland character. I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah, bland character, weak villain. The motivation was very comic booky, I guess. I don't know, and that's okay because we're dealing with a comic book story here. But there's no depth to that character.
No, it reminded me of like a bad episode of Captain Planet. Like.
Yeah.
So they have this conversation. This is the only good part of this episode to me was Ralph's character development. And I'm like, man, you let him get away. He goes, dude, Ralph, you always gotta save people over catching villains. That's the way it works. And he's like, oh, so was this like lesson 103 of the superhero code? There's some animosity there between Ralph and Barry still, and I like how it's not instantly solved the next episode, that they're still working out their differences. By the way, I like Ralph. Ralph is a needed addition to the Flash family, 100%.
I totally agree. I'm glad he's giving Barry balance. It's necessary.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry, the measurement jokes are funny to me. Like I chuckle.
Yeah.
And his face is hilarious. All right, so we go back to the Council Wells, and it's been an entire day, and they have not figured out anything. They're still trying to figure out the best way to start figuring out who DeVoe is. They're arguing, complete waste of time. Wells is going to pull the plug on the project. And we figure out where the third piece of the necklace is, and it's on a what is that, like a museum transport or whatever?
A security transport.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like an armored vehicle.
An armored vehicle. I like how the security guard that's on the inside of the vehicle is looking at cat videos. I thought that was
all about cat videos.
That's funny. And the effigy that they're transporting comes alive and crushes his hand.
It's a Neanderthal. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We're about to come up on a part that really annoyed me, by the way. I think you know what I'm talking about. Well, the other guy stops the car, goes in the back, he gets knocked out, and the Black Bison walks up and takes her last piece of the necklace. And the Flash shows up. He's like, hey, I can't let you walk away with that, right? Now here's the problem, guys. That effigy that's behind him had turned back into an effigy.
Right.
The Flash, knowing what her powers are, zooms in there and just stands right in front of it of the effigy.
Yeah, it was telegraphing big time.
That was like brutally dumb. That was so dumb. They should have. I don't know. There had to be a better way of catching the Flash off guard than making him look dumb.
Couldn't it have just come out of the truck and got him?
Right? I mean, come on, dude.
It's already bad enough that the Flash can't save somebody and catch the bad guy at the same time, considering he's the Flash and she's just running away.
And she's the fastest man alive.
Right. Yeah. How she gets away and he can't do something. I know it's a TV show and you just have to believe it, but the reality is that it's absolutely not the way it would work for the Flash.
No, I feel like they've definitely. It's weird. They made a point of saying how overpowered the Flash is after he came out of the Speed Force, and then every episode they're sort of downgrading him, like not his abilities, but like his decision making. It's very odd.
Or give her some sort of escapability ability to to hide her. I don't know. make it. The writing needs to be a little more challenge. They need to challenge themselves into not just making us pretend that he can't actually do these things, taking away his superpowers, and write it in so that there's a good reason why he can't catch her. Maybe he needs to stay. He rescued those people, and he needs to stay with them longer for whatever reason, so that she does have a realistic chance of getting away.
Well, maybe
but if he saves somebody in 0.2 seconds, I mean, obviously he should grab her before she gets out the door.
Yeah, maybe that effigy comes out of the truck and bear hugs Barry.
Yeah, there you go. Holds him.
Yeah, just holds him. Maybe
Right.
And maybe that's what now the elongated man's got to like save the day, and the elongated man can only either rescue her, like the kid, or that would make more sense than like his effigy hit him hard enough to where his legs were hurting or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. I wasn't even sure his wound was kind of, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would even argue that it's the elongated man should have rescued that kid, but so should have the Flash. I mean,
right.
he's fighting a statue when we've seen him in other seasons fight gods. Like,
yeah, I think they were trying to move Ralph's character forward, and so they downgraded the Flash's superhero because they have a weak villain, and they had to in order to make the villain's story fit. They got to make all the parts fit, and sometimes that means not being true to the characters.
They should have had the effigy just wrap him up, because they already justified like the PSI strength of like the Tiger guy, right? So
sure.
It would have made more sense. Like they sort of foreshadow how strong these effigies are, and he could have just held them. Maybe not killed them, but he could have held them. Like,
well, they kind of messed it up when they had him phase shift and blow up the.
Yeah, you're right, because he could have phased out of that. Yeah, all right.
They walked themselves into a corner.
They did. I like Ralph's powers use. He grabs onto the truck, throws his arm out, and grabs the car. I thought that was really cool. And then he had to make the decision, to capture her versus save the kid. He decided to capture her. Maybe he just assumed that the Flash would save the kid. I mean, he is the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
The girl, Black Bison, smashed her car into the car and knocks her out. And then, of course, the kid has been injured, which is the growth period for Ralph. Ralph looks at the kid in horror. Now, I have another problem, Shane. They go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
They were just at the scene as Flash and the elongated man, and now they're at the hospital as Barry and Ralph.
It's the first thing I thought.
Oh, my God.
It's the first thing I thought. I didn't get it.
Are you kidding me? Like,
there's no reason that they would be there.
No, like you're at the mother. Everybody just saw you guys do your thing together, and now you're sitting there at her bedside. Like, come on, you would have to be a total idiot not to know who these two are at this point.
That's the cheating in the writing. That's the cheating.
It is super cheating. Yeah, Barry tries to talk to Ralph. Ralph doesn't want to hear it right now. All right, we go back to Wells. I'm not even trying to be that hard on it, but like it just seems like that was just bad writing. And I love the Flash, but I'm gonna call it like I see it, man. That's bad writing.
Yeah. No, you got to be honest. I mean, good or bad the other way.
Yeah. Wells is trying to figure out how to find DeVoe on his own. He has a heart-to-heart with Cisco. Cisco's like, hey, man, why don't you go and apologize to them and just, try to start to play as a team and not, argue with each other or whatever. He goes back to the Wells. They all decide to work together, and they apologize, and that was sort of comical, and that's it. They start working together. There's not much to say about this. It just seemed like a sort of a throwaway episode. I think they're trying to build...
No,
they
were forwarding his character. They're just continuing to develop the
Harry character.
Harry character. Cisco says he doesn't have a lot of confidence. He's right. Super smart. Doesn't have a lot of confidence. Okay. So it's more development.
Yeah, I like it. Anything with Harry. Listen, anytime you put Harry on screen, I'm down.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah. Ralph has gone back to his old office, and he has a heart-to-heart with Barry. Barry's like, look, man, I'll help you. Think right, blah, blah, blah. And they have a nice growing moment where Barry looks out for him and says that, he'll be as conscious if Ralph will, or something like that, if Ralph will listen.
Yeah, his
And,
conscience.
yeah, they grow together, and they're becoming they sort of forgive each other, sort of, and it's looking positive for the Barry Flash relationship in the future. Maybe they'll get married. Okay, and we go to the Black Bison. So for some reason, she didn't go to Iron Heights. Guys, help me out here. I don't understand. Like, she's a meta.
I don't know.
Captured by the Flash.
Right.
Why did she go to a regular jail, guys? I don't understand it.
I don't know either. I mean, I guess maybe in a regular jail, I don't know how many effigies she'll have access to, or what her distance is that she can actually do something, but makes no sense for her to go to a regular jail.
No,
I don't get it.
She's a meta. She should be in Iron Heights. She should
Absolutely.
have those handcuff things that limit her powers. I don't understand why she wasn't there. Good people got hurt or died because of this mistake.
I mean, maybe something will happen with the season bad guy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting. I really liked this moment when he was like, he had this mannequin out there with the new suit, the new cop gear on it,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Anybody have any questions?" And the mannequin raised his hand.
Yeah, that's good.
I thought that was it. I mean, I sort of saw that coming, but I thought that was
Yeah.
really clever writing.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
And then,
Yeah,
of
that
course,
made it more interesting.
yeah, the mannequin goes on a straight killing spree and just takes out a bunch of cops. Breaks into her cell and lets her out, and now she's back at the museum, and she's looking for the final piece of this necklace. And I'm telling you, I feel like this necklace has some kind of super secret superpower or something, because she's so intent on finding it and assembling it. And right now on Legends, there's a lot of talk about totems and like totem bearers, which it's a necklace they put on, they get some kind of power. So I thought maybe they're gonna tie that in, but it's not. It's just a regular necklace. So go figure.
Yeah, that would have been cool if it had actually been tied into something that was interesting.
Yeah, maybe it was tied. Yeah, and maybe that's the plans. That's DeVoe's plans for her or something. I don't know.
Ooh.
And when she puts it on, she gets all weird and mystical about it. Then nothing happens.
Yeah, that was weird. Weird build up.
As the Flash and Ralph, they show up. They're gonna take her out. They do that little monologue. You're not leaving. You're not leaving, right? We gotta take you in. And then a giant T-Rex comes a calling. I love Ralph right here. He had that Jurassic Park reference. He was like, "Shh, don't move." Their eyesight is based on movement.
Yeah, he even did a Jeff Goldblum shout out when he was trying to lock down that T-Rex.
Yeah, when it was in his mouth, it was, "Help me, Jeff Goldblum."
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. So the Flash goes after. The Flash tries to stop the dinosaur, and the dinosaur quickly, or the T-Rex, and then quickly makes quick work of the Flash.
Yeah.
Again, this episode, just doesn't have his full strength going on.
He doesn't have the goods.
No, and the security guard comes in. The T-Rex is like, about to eat the security guard, and the elongated man, instead of going after Black Bison, decides to save the security guard and wraps him up. And this way, you get the Jeff Goldblum reference. Thought that was cool. Really cool graphics the way he wraps him up with his body. That was awesome. And then the Flash throws some kind of Native American vase in the air, and he plays on her love of the Native American artifacts, and then handcuffs her like he should have the first time.
Well, my only question is why couldn't he handcuff her anytime he wants to?
Yeah, she's not a speedster.
Right. Why did he have to throw an object up in the air and distract her in order to do it?
I don't know. That's a
The
great
storyline.
question.
Woo, storyline. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, I hate pointing out these kind of things, but they irritate me when I'm watching it, so I have to.
Yeah, it's true though. He's supposed to be faster than that. So he saves the day, and he has a smug look on his face, like, yeah, I saved the day. Nice. We go back, and I love how Ralph is reading comic books. I thought that was interesting. They have a brief conversation, and he goes, hey, so we couldn't find the necklace. And he goes, oh, well, maybe someone mailed it to the Sioux Indian tribe. Maybe. I thought that was interesting. He's a little bit of a rogue, and
Yeah.
he just did what he thought was right, and Barry's giving him a pass. And of course,
He's got to. He can't do everything.
Right, yeah, you're right. Of course, Ralph goes to the hospital to visit that little girl, and then blatantly shows off his powers.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's his hand.
Yeah. It's so weird, Shane.
I don't know. I guess it's okay. It's okay if you're gonna make this nice moment at the end of the show, and that's cool.
Yeah. So that
I
happens.
mean, the whole idea of hidden identity is kind of important.
Right. Yeah. This little girl.
But now this random child knows it is, and I'm sure she's gonna keep a secret.
Oh, of course. Kids are great at keeping secrets.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the Council of Wells, they have locked down via profiling and loads of data that DeVoe is, where DeVoe is, and what his full name is, and they're gonna go find him, and they're getting ready, man. Like they're like, it even shows Cisco as Vibe, and Caitlin says, like, Vibe and Frost here, ready to come in and help. Like she's taking that persona, and Harry's outside the house with a big giant gun, and DeVoe sees it coming, of course, and they plan for it. So when they get there's a welcome mat on the door, and a very nice lady opens up. Very normal-looking woman. In fact, that is the same assistant to DeVoe.
Exactly.
And she looks very normal. The house looks normal. And DeVoe looks normal, and he's in a wheelchair.
She even says her husband.
Right, and it's her husband. Now, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this the same DeVoe and assistant?
That's what we don't know.
Because
we don't even know if he's from this earth.
No, and what we do know, though, is that DeVoe and assistant knew they were on their way to see them. But
we also know that DeVoe's is in the future, right?
Right, but we don't know if this is DeVoe and his wife present day and they're from the future, or maybe they're from a different universe, or what. Maybe these are just normal people, and it's the right two people, but from the wrong universe. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It could be that. Although she does seem awfully concerned that they have a chance to catch him. So there's definitely some sort of concern with the present.
Yeah, but where's all the machinery? That's my question.
Well, it's obviously he's in a wheelchair, and it must be pre whatever has occurred to change him in the future, if this is him.
Right. And that's the end of the show. It ends on that little cliffhanger. And I gotta be honest, like I said before, not a great episode. It wasn't good or bad. There were some plot holes, there was some fun stuff, but overall, it was just sort of kind of meh. And I hope that we get a better episode. We need to get a really good Flash episode before the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, because I need to be more connected to the Flash again this season.
Yeah, these metas the last couple weeks have been like pretty darn weak. So you had the Weeper, right, and now you've had this Black Bison. So Black Bison actually could have been a pretty cool villain, bringing things to life, but it just didn't work itself out that way.
I feel like they tied her hands when they made it only effigies.
I think tying her to being like some crazy, being like a crazy activist, I think that was probably a mistake.
Right.
Just because when you start putting, when you start putting principle on something, it just changes motivations. Makes it also limits a person.
Yeah, it makes it all of a sudden it's not black and white. Yeah, well, I agree with you 100%.
And I with you, my friend.
And that's it for our show. We'll be back tomorrow for Survivor. The following day, we'll be back for, of course, Orville and our non-spoiler Justice League review. And on Saturday for the spoiler review. And remember, there is no Star Trek on Sunday, which means what are we gonna be doing on Monday? It's a surprise.
It is a surprise.
And we are going to have a show on Monday, same bat time, same bat channel, but it is going to be pretty unique, I think, and you'll see it then. So make sure to come back for that, all you fans of Star Trek. Okay?
Yes, and also if you haven't watched, if you're not watching Survivor right now, do yourself a favor tonight, tune in, and then come watch the show with us tomorrow. It's not too late to jump in, even though we're into the season.
I guarantee you will enjoy the show once you've seen what we're talking about. Okay.
Right. Brian and I have a bet going too, so
we have a good bet going, and right now I'm actually fighting for the bet to be canceled out, because if I lose, I'll be losing twice, and it'll mean double the time I spend in the woods, naked and afraid style, with nothing but a GoPro and my underwear.
So, it'll be tough. It'll be a tough night.
Definitely trying to avoid that. Okay, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
All right, guys. See you tomorrow.